Oh my god, if you're watching this video, this is my first ever interview. I've always wanted to do interviews with people and get inside people's minds and stuff, and either personal or business wise. So, in this video, well, first, let me just introduce myself. This is my channel. I'm Jlin, and I'm a beginning entrepreneur and trying to start a business. And today, for my YouTube channel, I'm interviewing Lawrence Harris, a public speaker. I'm really not good at explaining stuff, so give me a minute. A youth leadership and empowerment speaker and an author. You can consult with him. I'm reading his Instagram bio because I don't like to say things, and he's a really nice person. You should check out his page on Instagram. On Instagram, his Mr. Notorious. Actually, can you see that? Oh shit, that's not the screen. Check that out. But hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to start by first, you're going to introduce yourself and what you do. Whatever you want to tell the people that may watch the video before we start into the interview. Okay.
Okay, so I'll start with this. Well, firstly, my name is Lawrence Harris. I'm a 19-year-old youth empowerment speaker, and I'm on a mission to help teens and young adults realize the worth that they have as a person. Your worth did not come from the material possessions. Your worth comes from who you are as a person, but we'll get more into that later.
Yes. So this is terrible.
Oh, people love just that raw energy.
That's true too, but let me pick my favorite question. My favorite question. Actually, I don't have a favorite question, so I'm just guessing. Okay, let me pick one to start off first. Okay, when was the first time you knew? Okay, I'm gonna read this wrong. Okay, when was the first time you realized you knew what you wanted to do with your career?
That's a funny thing because I've had many different career ideas. One point I wanted to be a jeweler. I wanted to be an author. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to do a whole lot of things. But the thing that drew me to speaking and made me realize that, yo, this is my thing. I realized that I've always been a super talkative person, like very talkative. But I also love to learn.
Mhm.
So if I love to read, I'm good at talking to people.
Mhm.
People get paid to talk. How about I just start getting paid to do the thing I already do for free?
Okay. Okay. Was there a specific point when you knew you wanted to be a motivational speaker?
Hmm.
Like where when it
I don't
just
think it was like
clicked?
any one specific point in time. It was more gradual unfolding. Like imagine you have an onion and
Hmm.
I'm cutting back the layers and I realized like at the core that everything I was doing, like writing books and making jewelry and making art. I just wanted to help people in some way. And one way that was making you feel more beautiful. Like, wow, my necklace looks so great and matching my outfit. In other ways, it's I love this book. I feel entertained. I'm learning something. But at the core of it, I wanted to help people. And rather than just help you to look good and feel good, I wanted to help you to just have a better life. And I realized that speaking to people, motivating them, inspiring them, teaching them, I can do that.
Yes. That is good. Also, should I okay, should I be like okay, I've been told this. I'm not I feel like I'm a great conversationalist. Like I can feel like I'm having a great conversation, but somebody like
Overthink.
huh?
Don't overthink a conversation. Just talk.
I know, but then something like my sister would be like, you didn't like say anything and you just like sat and nodded and like I
There
was
are people who want that energy. Just do your thing. It's kind of
like,
like it's like rap music. Some people like Kanye, some people like Jay-Z, some people like Rihanna. They all got their own audience.
some people like all three.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like you don't have to be Rihanna, just be Jalen.
Okay. So next question. Who or what, who and or what pushes you every day?
Every day. I would say the biggest thing that pushes me is like this. It's like this higher calling. That's the best way I can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get out of the bed and I might be tired. I might not feel like doing anything, but I realize that there's people who I can help.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who need what I got to say because we've all heard believe in yourself.
Yes.
We've all heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as a kid you heard it, you might have heard it in a song, you might have seen it on TV, your mom or dad might have said it to you, but there's people who need to hear it a certain way
Mm-hmm.
at that moment.
Yes.
Like I'll be scrolling on Instagram and I just see something that I needed to see at that exact moment,
Yes.
and it was explained the exact way I needed it to be explained.
Yes.
So I don't really have a individual person in my ear saying, Lawrence, put it out there. Lawrence, put it
It
out
could
there. It's
it could
more
be
like,
whatever it is.
yeah, it's like just a higher calling. That's the best way I can explain it.
Okay. Yeah, words are very powerful.
They very are.
Okay. Now the next question. Let me choose wisely. Okay. What is one lesson you've learned that has stayed with you to this day?
Hmm. The best gift that you can give yourself is self-love,
That is true.
because we spend so much of our life, and I used to be this exact same way too. We start chasing external things as a way of validating and numbing the void we feel in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of men are insecure about money. Like, oh, if I don't make enough money, women aren't gonna like me. I gotta make $100,000 a month, or I'm a bum.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. Because when you love yourself, you realize that, hold up, yeah, money is important. Like, I need to be able to pay my rent. I need to be able to
Mm-hmm.
buy groceries and not starve. But we have a lot of millionaires and billionaires who are super depressed because they don't love themselves.
Yeah.
They have all the shiny toys. They have the yacht, the boat, the car, um, 5 wives or whatever,
But it doesn't
but
matter.
they don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest lesson I can give somebody is no matter how much the world loves you and how much you love the world,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta love yourself, because at the end of the day, when you lay your head on that pillow and it's just you and it's quiet and it's dark and it's just you and your thoughts, all the things that you try to smoke away and drink away and party away and gamble away, they're gonna start creeping in there.
Yeah.
And you can't block out the voice of your own conscience.
Mm-hmm. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You only have to live for yourself. Oh, damn, I'm stuttering. You can only live for yourself. You're the only person that can truly make you happy.
Yeah. And we try to make ourselves happy with things, but there's always a new thing to be chased. Like they make a new iPhone like every 2 years. I gotta get the newest iPhone, or nobody's gonna like me. I gotta go buy these $500 shoes while I can't even pay my rent.
Yes.
Let
It's-
me go get a BMW on a credit card, ruin my credit, be in debt for the rest of my life, and when I die, my family inherits my debt.
But you know what? We gotta teach the people that there's more important things to life than buying material things and just trying to show out for people. But it's honestly sad, but hey, you can change a lot
Yeah,
of
I
people,
mean,
you can inspire a lot of people.
yeah, it's the big thing with it is then we can move on to the next question, because I could go on about this for hours.
Hmm.
It's like wrapping paper.
Hmm.
So it's Christmas Day, and you have the option of two presents.
Yes.
One of them is a really big package with gold foil.
Hmm.
The other one is a small package that looks nice, but it's not gold foil. It's not a huge box. It's a regular box
Mm-hmm.
with nice wrapping paper. Most people will choose the gold foil box for the simple fact that it's a bigger box, so the package must be bigger and better, ignoring the fact that the smaller box
Mm-hmm.
could actually be the better one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why, even though I'm not religious, I constantly use the metaphor that Jesus was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
He was a homeless carpenter. And, you would think that the guy performing all these miracles, the guy curing blind people, you would think he'd be the richest man ever.
Yeah.
No, because he realized that all the wealth of the world, all the nice wagons and the 15 donkeys
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really matter when you realize that you can't take that with you in the casket.
No.
You can't. It's like we we spend so much time chasing that we never sit down and just recognize the fact that I got me. We chase
Yeah.
relationships. We
And
chase money. We chase cars, status, clothes, new phone. We're in this constant rat race of needing the next hit. I need the next dopamine hit. I need the next dollar hit. I need the next relationship hit. But what about looking inside yourself and getting high on life?
no, yes. And that's another reason why a lot of people are never happy because they're always searching for the next thing to make them happy. When they need to, people just need to look at what they have and be grateful and be happy with what they have. You don't always need more. You don't always need the next greater thing. You don't need the next bigger thing. What you have is good,
Well,
but people want to chase.
one of the reasons people do that, though,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to be this way too, because I realized this like early on when I was like 15.
Mm-hmm.
I asked myself one time, well, okay, Lawrence, why do I feel the need to keep going out and trying to impress people? Why do I feel the need to try and show the girl that I like her by buying her stuff? Why do I feel the need to do all this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it's because I don't want to look inside of myself and acknowledge all the stuff I'm running from.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to mask our lack of self love by chasing the affection of others. Because let's put it like this:
Mm-hmm.
if you have a person in your life, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever somebody likes, and this person is like showing you love, affection, it gives you an excuse to not look at the fact that you don't love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I have this outside validation, I don't have to acknowledge my inner lack. If I have $1 million in the bank, I don't have to acknowledge my poor mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 25 cars in the driveway, I don't have to acknowledge the fact that I feel like no matter how much I'm slamming on the gas, I'm not getting anywhere in life.
Mm-hmm.
So we use outside things. We try to chase pleasure and happiness in outside things so that we don't have to look inside of ourselves and acknowledge, oh, I don't feel good in here. And the only way to feel good in here is to do the work.
Yes, that's the only way.
And it's some hard work.
No, it
It's
is.
very simple,
Definitely is.
but it ain't easy.
But it's worth it.
Yes,
Okay. Let's look at the next question.
of course.
Okay. How do you move past your bad days?
How do I move past how do I move
Or
past
move
my bad days?
forward?
Hmm.
Move forward.
Well, I'm going to explain this in a way that like anybody can relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say you're in the absolute bottom. You're homeless. You just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Your house burnt down. Like your life on the outside is in shambles. you can still say, I woke up today. I might have woke up to a situation I don't like, but I woke up today and I can find something to feel a little better about.
Yes.
Life might still suck, but it sucks a little less. And if you're not in a situation where you're homeless, you got stage 4 cancer, your organs are failing, your house is burning down, if that's not your situation, you can at the minimum be happy. I got a place to lay my head at night. I might be living in a poor neighborhood. I might be living in a violent neighborhood, but I got a pillow. I might not have any cars, but I got a bike. I might not have a bike, but I got legs to walk. I might not have legs to walk, but I got a wheelchair. I might not have arms. I might not have legs, but I got a mind. So I would say the best way to get through the bad days is to find the good in the bad days.
Hmm.
Because it's like the time when we are hurting the most, it prepares us to enjoy the simplest things. Like I've had friends who used to be like severely depressed.
Hmm.
I myself used to be. And now the simplest stuff is beautiful. Like the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, grass is growing. I have water. I have food in the refrigerator.
Hmm.
You start to find pleasure and happiness in the simplest stuff. So that's what I would say on how to get through those bad days. Realize that it's not really as bad as you think it is. And even if you say that advice to somebody as they're going through like a tragedy,
Hmm.
it sounds really offensive. It sounds like, how you gonna tell me it's not as bad as I think it is? That sounds so insensitive. But give it a month and you'll look back and be like, yeah, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was in that moment.
Yes. All right. My next question that I think is funny, but I don't know if it's actually funny.
Sure.
What is the worst advice you've ever received?
Worst advice I ever received. I would say the worst advice I've ever received is to take everybody's advice as if it is valid. For example,
Hmm.
poor people cannot teach you how to make money. It sounds so offensive, but if they knew how to do it, they would have done it.
Hmm.
Rich people can. Maybe their method was immoral. Maybe they took advantage of people or whatever. But at the end of the day, when it comes to that subject, they have a valid opinion on it.
Hmm.
Um, Another piece of the worst advice I've ever received, because there's a lot.
Hmm.
Listen without questioning.
Hmm.
So, listening without questioning what you're being told, that is the quickest way to get brainwashed.
No, yes, it is.
Because just listen to me because I have a sense of authority or power over you. Now, I'm going to tie this back to, multiple things.
Hmm.
So as a child, you're supposed to respect your parents, supposed to listen to what they gotta say. They're your parents, so there's a natural respect that must be given. Like you put a roof over my head. You are literally the reason why I have not starved to death.
Hmm.
So you get respect points for that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I am allowed to question why. Like, why do I have to do things your way? Because little kids, they're not trying to be disrespectful when they ask you why. They're kids, they're curious. Well, why do we have to do it this way?
Hmm.
But if you don't question what you're being told, you're just going to do whatever people tell you to do.
Hmm.
It's going to be like, jump. How high? Jump off that building. You
Yeah.
want me to do a backflip with it too? And that's when you look at things like, Have you ever read the book 1984?
I don't think so.
Okay. So 1984 was this book written in the year 1948, which was during this thing called the Cold War. And in the book, they describe a world where the government runs like everything. One of them is called Newspeak. So our ability to express ourselves is very restricted by language.
Mm-hmm.
If there isn't a word for the color red, there's no way to describe red.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if the government created a situation where we don't have the words to articulate ourselves and our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Look at TikTok slang. That's newspeak. Like that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or you ever heard the phrase "Big Brother is watching"?
No.
So the phrase "Big Brother" refers to that book. The government is referred to as Big Brother, and it's like they're always watching you. Like they have the thought police where they can like read your mind. And if
Mm-hmm.
you think of committing a crime, they punish you as if you committed the crime. And the point I'm getting at here is that book perfectly explains how if you listen without questioning, you will be brainwashed into believing anything.
Oh yes.
They explain something called doublethink. So imagine if yesterday I said that we're at war with Mexico. Let's just use Mexico as an example. Yesterday, we're at war with Mexico. You have the newspaper in front of you. It says, we are at war with Mexico. Tomorrow, I say, we've never been at war with Mexico. We've always been friends with them. We're at war with Canada. You have in front of you a newspaper that says, yesterday, we were at war with Mexico and friends with Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we are at war with Canada, and we've always been friends with Mexico. Because I'm the government and you are not allowed to question what I say, you must believe the lie as if it's the truth. And if you don't believe the new truth, despite having physical evidence that I'm lying to you,
Mm-hmm.
I punish you. Because you can't question me. Whatever I say the truth. Yesterday didn't exist.
Like a scare tactic.
Yeah, it's not even just it's both a scare tactic and it's just massive brainwashing.
Yes.
Like, if you ever have the time for it, you should watch the movie. It's on YouTube for free. It's 1984.
Let me write
It's black and white. And one of the best examples of this that they use in the book
Mhm.
is 2 plus 2 equals 5. So if I hold up, what number is this?
Four,
No, it's not. It's 5. What number is it?
five.
Exactly. That perfectly proved the point. They would say that 2 plus 2 is 5 because I say so. So one of the worst pieces of advice I've ever gotten was listen without questioning
Yes, you
because
said
I said so.
question. Okay. Pick my next question. Okay. What is something that you apply in your daily life that you would encourage others to do as well?
Get a diary and write in it
Yes.
because the reason for this is very simple. It helps you to think. It helps you to slow down and be more mindful.
It really does. That's why I have like three different journals. This is one.
Good. Because think about how many people are running around here, men and women, this applies to everybody,
Mhm.
who are running around with anger management issues, stressed all the time, depressed, panicking, don't know what they're doing with themselves, and they're just crashing out left and right.
Yes.
We could solve a lot of that if they just sat down for 20 minutes a day and just write out, today I am feeling blank. I am feeling blank because this thing happened or I thought this. How can I solve this? I can stop being so mad at other people if I just catch myself, remove myself from this bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remove myself from the bad situation, I'll be less mad. Then think of how this applies to long term planning. So when you're writing out diaries and you're writing out your thoughts, your feelings, your plans, your ideas, you can think more long term
Mm-hmm.
because you can see the bigger picture. We often want things right now, just
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
We want overnight success, overnight money, overnight friends, overnight relationship. We swipe left and right. I like this one. Nope. I like that one. I like this one. Nope. I like that one. We were not meant to be thinking so short term
Yes.
because our brains have changed very little from the time when we lived in caves. Back then, short term thinking was how do I survive today?
Yeah.
We're just thinking, how do I survive today? How do I catch that gazelle? How do I build a spear? Long term thinking back then was how do I find the right cave to live in? How do I protect my wife from getting eaten by a lion? How do I build a village? How do we come together and decide who's going to be the leader? That was long term thinking.
Mm-hmm.
However, now, because everything is so rapid,
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking just in this moment, right here, right now. This is why, like, people crashing out. Think of think of those like guys who can't handle rejection. So they think that because this woman didn't want to give me her number, now we're gonna get violent because I feel like my ego has been hurt. I feel as if this is the only person in the world and somebody saying no to me is going to ruin my life. So they crash out. And now they're in prison for the rest of their life because they can't control themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or people who are just, they can't figure out what the solution to their problem. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I make more money? How do I get a wife or a relationship? How do I do this? They're always just worried about it. If we just sat down and write out our thoughts, write out how we're feeling, write out what we're thinking, we get a whole lot better at handling our thoughts
Mm-hmm.
because we know how to slow down and think.
Yeah.
A second one I want to throw in there too is
Yeah.
very simple. You ever heard somebody say go touch grass?
Mm-hmm.
Do that
That's true.
because sunlight creates beneficial hormones in your brain.
It does.
It's really hard to be depressed if you write out how you're feeling, you go look at the sun for a little bit, and you go to the gym. It's really hard to be depressed after that, because there are part of it is chemical imbalances in the brain, but sunlight, writing, and the gym create the hormones in your brain that makes you feel good.
100% true. Side note, it says I have 8 minutes left to record.
Okay,
Does that mean
it would probably like just kind of close out or something. So like, how many questions do you have left?
okay, let me ask two more questions, okay?
Okay.
First one. What is something you've taught yourself?
Ooh, a lot of things.
Okay, what's the first important one that comes to mind?
Your mind is either going to be your biggest friend or your biggest enemy. So I've met homeless people on the street begging for change,
Yes.
but they're some of the happiest people ever
Mm-hmm.
because they find a sense of freedom in it
There is.
because they don't need to report to nobody. They don't need to clock in nowhere. They don't need to worry about nothing except today.
Yes.
If I can figure out how to make it to the end of today,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Um, if I can figure out how to, you know, get $5 to get some food and some water, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have people who have a ton of money, or they have all the clothes and the shiny stuff, but they feel depressed because it's like they haven't looked within. They haven't got their mind right. They got their life right, but because their mind ain't right, they're living in a good situation, but they're viewing it through a bad lens because their mind isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got people on the street, they haven't had a shower in a month, but they good, they vibing because they don't gotta worry about nothing except today.
Yes, exactly. Okay. For my last question. Okay, let me figure out how to word this. Okay. Are there any things that you would okay, this is like not a two-parter, but okay. Let me just try to say it. What is something you would like to try in your career, or what is something that may be in a different direction you would like to try?
Hmm. Something like different I would do in my career, something I could try.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's say one thing I'd eventually do if hire people, that would be something because there's going to come a point when me sending all the emails or me doing all the busy work is going to be inconvenient.
Yes.
So I would say that's one thing, scaling a bit. And honestly, if I could figure out how to get the permit to do it and the funding, I would start a school.
Yeah,
I
that's
would start a
cool.
because I'm not really a big fan of the traditional education system, and that's a long story. All I'm gonna say is the powers that be would not like me talking about certain stuff.
Exactly. They would
So
not.
if
They would hate it.
yeah, they would because they'd be like, "This man sees it. We can't have him telling other people.
They
Just
don't
look at how they
know.
right him. They ran up on my boy in his sleep." But yeah, I would start a school.
And get
That's
some
that's that's
security.
one thing I would love to do.
You would need some security a little bit.
Yeah. I actually have thought of hiring like a personal security agent to just like follow me around wherever I go. Because nobody's ever came at me no aggressive type way or anything. Everybody when they recognize me out of public, they're like, yo man, I be seeing you on TikTok. I love it. It's all been love, but with the love there does come potential for hate.
Yeah.
So have my own like security
You
guard
know.
follow me around would be a pretty dope thing. That would be pretty darn useful just in case.
Mhm.
But yeah, the school, man, I would love to have a school. I probably wouldn't teach there.
Me neither.
I would give speeches there. I would do lectures and stuff like that. But I would want to have a school simply for the fact that it would allow me to build more leaders. Like
Yes.
teaching people the stuff that I taught myself or that I had to go to therapy to figure out or all
Yes.
that good stuff. I could a school would be pretty dope. And a third thing I would love to do is a third thing I'd love to do in my career. Definitely not
Anything,
politics. I
anything,
don't want to be a politician. That would suck.
anything.
Maybe like have a farm. I would love to.
A song
It might sound a little weird, but having a farm where I could like
or a farm?
give people healthy food and because I'm helping you to get your mind right, but at the same time, we got to get the body right too. And there's a lot of preservatives and artificial flavors and colorings. So
Gotta eat well.
yeah, we gotta. It's a lot of different stuff. So I'm gonna need like a team of people. We got the farm people, we got the school people, we got the security people. It's gonna be dope. But
Yes,
yeah, I would say that.
cool. Okay. I guess that's technically the end of the video, given we only have 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, and I don't know how to extend that time. But I thank you for this time. And it
Welcome.
was actually very wonderful. I'm very excited. I have no idea if the questions were like um
Engaging.
related. Like, did they have any correlation? I have no
They
idea.
did. They were about like, okay, what do you do? What do you want to teach people? Where do you see this going? Who are you? All these questions are very related. You're overthinking
Okay,
it.
okay, great. Because
I'm telling you,
no, I just can't
you
tell.
got it. You got it. It's just when you
Okay.
first start something, there's this natural tendency to it's imposter syndrome basically.
Oh yeah.
Because you haven't had enough experience doing it, you're thinking, am I doing it the right way? But here's the secret. There's no right way. There's so many
Yes,
different
you
ways to
do.
interview others. There's so many different types of music. There's so many different types of painting. There are different types of motivational speakers. There's different types of chefs. There are different types of food. Some people want Chinese food. Some people want Mexican food. Make what you make. Let the people who like what you like find you. You're going to get your audience of people.
Hmm.
And if you stop trying to be Rihanna and you just start being Jalen, the people who like Jalen's music will find you. And the people who don't like your music, they're not your audience.
Yes.
And on that note, we got like 30 seconds before this thing ends. So I'm just gonna say to the people watching this, if you want to hear a bit more about me, you can find me on YouTube on Instagram at Mr.Not Oreo US, TikTok Not Oreo US underscore university. Same thing at my YouTube. Have a wonderful, blessed day. I love you. I hope you love yourself.
Yes. And I'll put it in the description too.
Yup.
Yes.
Perfect. Now with that, we probably got like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.